In the world of entertainment, some stars shine so brightly that their legacies transcend time. Yet behind the glamour and talent, many faced untold struggles, with their lives cut tragically short by AIDS. In this video, we honor the stories of 20 remarkable gay celebrities who not only made a profound impact on their industries, but also left behind legacies of resilience and courage in the face of adversity. Let's delve into the lives of these trailblazers and remember the light they brought to the world. Number 1, Freddie Mercury, the charismatic frontman of Queen, was more than just a singer. He was a musical phenomenon. Born Farrokh Bulsara in Zanzibar, Mercury's journey to fame was as vibrant as his stage presence. With a 4-octave vocal range and a flamboyant persona, he mesmerized audiences around the world. While Mercury's private life was often the subject of speculation, he never publicly came out as gay. However, those close to him were aware of his sexuality. He shared several meaningful relationships throughout his life, including one with Mary Austin, whom he described as his soulmate, despite their romantic relationship ending in 1987. Tragically, the same year, Mercury was diagnosed with HIV, a diagnosis he kept private. He continued to create music and live life on his own terms. His final partner, Jim Hutton, a hairdresser, remained by his side until the end. Mercury's last years were a period of intense creativity. He worked tirelessly on Queen's albums, including Innuendo, released in 1991. His final on-camera appearance was in the music video for These Are the Days of Our Lives, where he appeared visibly frail, yet still exuded his signature spirit. On November 23, 1991, Mercury publicly confirmed his AIDS diagnosis. Just one day later, on November 24th, he passed away from bronchial pneumonia caused by AIDS. The music world mourned the loss of one of its brightest stars, but Mercury's legacy endures. In his honor, the Mercury Phoenix Trust was established in 1992 and has been actively fighting AIDS worldwide ever since. Number 2, Liberace, born Waju Valentino. Liberace in 1919 in West Allis, Wisconsin, was the epitome of flamboyant showmanship. The son of Italian and Polish immigrants, Liberace's rise to fame as Mr. Showmanship was a dazzling journey filled with rhinestones, sequins, and an unmistakable flair for the theatrical. A musical prodigy, Liberace began playing the piano by ear at the age of 4, impressing audiences with his ability to perform complex classical pieces well beyond his years. However, it wasn't just his musical talent that set him apart. It was his dramatic, larger-than-life personality that made him a legend in the entertainment world. Liberace's career soared in the 1950s with The Liberace Show, a television program that captivated audiences nationwide. His performances were not merely concerts, but grand spectacles, featuring extravagant costumes, his signature candelabras atop the piano, and a stage presence that radiated charisma. He was beloved for his iconic catchphrase, "I don't give concerts, I put on a show." Despite his flamboyant persona, Liberace adamantly denied being gay throughout his life. When gossip magazines began insinuating otherwise, he fiercely defended his image. In 1956, he successfully sued the British tabloid Daily Mirror for libel after they implied he was homosexual, testifying under oath that he was not gay and had never engaged in homosexual acts. Behind closed doors, however, Liberace's personal life told a different story. For 5 years, he lived with Scott Thorson, his chauffeur and alleged lover. Their relationship ended tumultuously when Thorson sued Liberace for $113 million in palimony in 1982. The case was eventually settled out of court for $95,000. As the AIDS crisis began to escalate in the 1980s, Liberace's health visibly deteriorated. Despite growing thinner and appearing gaunt, he dismissed concerns, claiming his weight loss was due to a watermelon diet. Liberace gave his final performance on November 2nd, 1986, at Radio City Music Hall in New York. Just months later, on February 4th, 1987, he passed away at his home in Palm Springs, California. Initially, his personal physician reported the cause of death as cardiac arrest due to heart failure caused by subacute encephalopathy, a type of brain inflammation. However, the truth soon emerged. After an autopsy, Riverside County Coroner Raymond S. Carrillo confirmed that Liberace had died of pneumonia brought on by AIDS. Number 3, Wade Dominguez, a rising star whose Hollywood career was tragically cut short. Born on May 10, 1966, in Santa Clara County, California, Dominguez was of Mexican and French descent, a heritage that gave him a striking and memorable appearance. Before his acting career took off, Dominguez worked as a go-go dancer in nightclubs. While it wasn't the most glamorous start, it allowed him to express his love for dance and performance, skills that would later enhance his on-screen presence. Dominguez's big break came in 1995 with the film Dangerous Minds, where he portrayed Emilio Ramirez, a troubled student who transforms under the guidance of Michelle Pfeiffer's character. His performance was raw, authentic, and heartfelt, earning praise from critics and audiences alike. The role showcased his ability to hold his own alongside established Hollywood actors and marked him as a talent to watch. Following Dangerous Minds, Dominguez appeared in several other films, including City of Industry, The Taxman, and Shadow of Doubt. Each performance demonstrated his versatility as an actor and hinted at a promising future. However, behind the scenes, Dominguez was fighting a private battle. Diagnosed with AIDS, he chose to keep his condition private, determined to be remembered for his talent rather than his illness or personal life. On August 26, 1998, Dominguez passed away at just 32 years old due to respiratory failure caused by AIDS. His death came as a shock to many in the industry who were unaware of his condition. One of the most poignant moments from his final days involved his co-star and friend Elizabeth Berkley. She visited him in the hospital and shared a rough cut of his last film, The Taxman. Deeply moved by his own performance, Dominguez reportedly broke down in tears, saying, "I'm so good, I'm so good." It was a bittersweet acknowledgement of his immense talent and the heartbreaking loss of a life and career full of potential. Number 4, Denholm Elliott, an actor whose name might not immediately ring a bell, but whose face is undeniably familiar. Born in London in 1922, Elliott appeared in over 125 films and TV shows throughout his long and illustrious career. Renowned for portraying slightly befuddled yet endearing characters, he had a knack for stealing scenes from lead actors with subtle gestures like a perfectly timed mumble or a raised eyebrow. Elliott's journey to acting was anything but conventional. During the World War II, he served in the Royal Air Force and spent 3 years as a prisoner of war. After the war, he found his passion for performing, both on stage and screen, quickly establishing himself as one of Britain's most dependable character actors. Some of his most iconic roles include Marcus Brody in the Indiana Jones films, Coleman in Trading Places, and Mr. Emerson in A Room with a View. In his personal life, Elliott was married twice and had 2 children. Privately, he was also bisexual, a fact he largely kept to himself during his lifetime. In 1987, at the age of 65, Elliott was diagnosed with HIV. Despite his health challenges, he continued to work, appearing in notable productions such as Noble House and Toy Soldiers in the late 1980s and early 1990s. His final on-screen role was in the 1992 film Noises Off. On October 6, 1992, Elliot passed away at his home on the Spanish island of Ibiza due to AIDS-related tuberculosis. He was 70 years old. News of his death deeply impacted the British acting community, prompting an outpouring of tributes from colleagues and fans. To honor his significant contributions to British cinema, the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, BAFTA, established the Denholm Elliott Award, recognizing promising actors and ensuring his legacy continues to inspire future generations. Number 5. Robert Reed, best known for his portrayal of Mike Brady on the beloved sitcom The Brady Bunch. While he played the quintessential wholesome TV dad, dispensing wisdom and resolving family dilemmas with a warm smile and heartfelt pep talks, Reed's personal life was far more complex than the clean-cut image he projected on screen. Born John Robert Reitz Jr. in 1932, Reed's path to fame was filled with challenges and unexpected turns. His acting career began on the stage, where he developed his craft through various productions before transitioning to Hollywood in the early 1960s. After a string of TV roles, he landed the career-defining part of Mike Brady, becoming one of America's most beloved father figures. However, behind the scenes, Reed was privately battling personal struggles. In 1954, Reed married Marilyn Rosenberger, and the couple had a daughter named Karen. Despite this, their marriage ended in divorce after 5 years. During their relationship, Reed confided in Marilyn about his homosexuality, a revelation he kept hidden from the public for fear of damaging his budding career. In the 1960s, Hollywood was far from accepting of LGBTQ+ individuals, and Reed chose to remain closeted to protect his livelihood. While working on The Brady Bunch, Reed developed a reputation as a perfectionist, often clashing with the show's creators over the quality of scripts and storylines. He took his role as a TV father figure seriously, even off-screen, where he made an effort to mentor his on-screen children. They fondly recall how he would take them on educational outings, determined to broaden their perspectives beyond the confines of the set. In 1991, Reed was diagnosed with colon cancer, a battle that revealed further health challenges. Medical records disclosed that he was also HIV positive, though the timing of his diagnosis remains unclear. On May 12, 1992, at the age of 59, Reed passed away. While his death certificate cited colon cancer as the primary cause, complications from HIV are believed to have played a significant role. Reed's death was a shock to fans and colleagues, with Florence Henderson, his on-screen wife, describing him as a family man and expressing how deeply he would be missed. The posthumous revelation of his HIV status brought attention to the stigma and secrecy faced by many LGBTQ+ individuals, particularly those working in the entertainment industry at the time. Number 6, Willie Smith, a trailblazing fashion designer who brought a fresh urban sensibility to the industry and earned the title Godfather of Streetwear. Born in Philadelphia in 1948, Smith's journey into fashion began at Parsons School of Design. However, his time there was cut short when he was expelled following an affair with a male student. Despite this setback, Smith remained undeterred, working various jobs in the fashion industry before launching his own label, Willie Wear, in 1976. Willie Wear was a game changer. Smith's designs were affordable and wearable, seamlessly blending sportswear and high fashion. His mission was to make good style accessible to everyone, not just the elite. As he famously put it, "I don't design clothes for the queen, but for the people who wave at her as she goes by." In 1981, Smith partnered with Lori Mallett, who became both his life and business partner. Together, they propelled Willie Wear to incredible success, with the company grossing over $25 million annually by the mid-1880s. Smith's influence went far beyond traditional fashion. He collaborated with artists, dancers, and filmmakers, redefining the boundaries between fashion and other art forms. One of his most memorable contributions to pop culture was designing the wedding dress for Mary Jane Watson in the Spider-Man comic books, leaving a unique mark on the world of entertainment. Tragically, Smith's meteoric career was cut short. In 1986, Mallett passed away from AIDS-related cancer, and soon after, Smith's own health began to decline. He was hospitalized with shingles and viral encephalitis, illnesses often associated with AIDS. On April 17, 1987, Willie Smith passed away at the age of 39. While AIDS was widely believed to be the underlying cause, his company honored his wishes to keep the details private. Smith's legacy continues to shape the DNA of modern streetwear and fashion. His unique perspective, deeply influenced by his background and identity, helped make fashion more inclusive and vibrant. As he once said, "Being black has a lot to do with my being a good designer. My eye will go quicker to what a pimp is wearing than to someone in a gray suit and tie." This perspective reshaped the fashion world, making it a space for everyone, regardless of background. Number 7, Ed Koch, the brash and outspoken mayor of New York City from 1978 to 1989. Known for his signature phrase, "How am I doing?" Koch embodied the grit and energy of New York during the 1980s. Born in 1924 in the Bronx, his journey to becoming mayor was as colorful as the city itself. He served in World War II, became a lawyer, and eventually entered politics, serving in the U.S. House of Representatives before winning the mayoral election in 1977. Koch took office at a time when New York was struggling with severe challenges, including a financial crisis, high crime rates, and urban decay. He is widely credited with helping to stabilize the city's finances and sparking an economic revival. However, his handling of the AIDS epidemic during the 1980s became a contentious part of his legacy. As the epidemic devastated New York's gay community, many activists criticized Koch for what they viewed as a lackluster response. Larry Kramer, a prominent AIDS activist and playwright, went as far as calling him an evil man who helped gay men die. The criticism was amplified by long-standing rumors about Koch's own sexuality, though he never publicly came out, maintaining that his personal life was private. After his death in 2013, journalist and longtime friend Charles Kaiser confirmed that Koch was gay, explaining that Koch wasn't self-hating but came from a generation that didn't openly discuss such matters. Despite the controversy surrounding his response to AIDS, Koch made several progressive strides during his political career. As a congressman, he introduced the first version of what would later become the Employment Non-Discrimination Act. As mayor, he banned discrimination against gay individuals in city employment and housing. Koch expressed regret later in life for not doing more to address the AIDS crisis, but defended his record by highlighting increased funding for AIDS research and care during his tenure. After leaving office, Koch remained a prominent public figure, writing books, hosting a radio show, and even serving as a judge on the People's Court. He passed away on February 1, 2013, at the age of 88, leaving behind a complex legacy that continues to spark debate in New York City and beyond. Number 8, Roy Cohn, a name that continues to spark strong reactions even decades after his death. Born in New York City in 1927 to a wealthy and politically connected Jewish family, Cohn's path to notoriety began early in his legal career. He first gained national attention as a prominent figure in the Army McCarthy hearings during the 1950s. At just 23 years old, Cohn became chief counsel to Senator Joseph McCarthy during the height of the Red Scare. He played a pivotal role in prosecuting alleged communists, including the high-profile trial of Julius and Ethel Rosenberg, which culminated in their execution. Cohn's influence extended beyond the anti-communist crusade. He was a major force in the Lavender Scare, a parallel campaign to purge LGBTQ+ individuals from government positions. He helped persuade President Eisenhower to ban gay people from federal employment, claiming they were vulnerable to blackmail and posed a security risk. The irony of Cohn's involvement in this persecution was striking, as rumors about his own sexuality were widespread. Many speculated about a close relationship with David Schein, his chief consultant during the McCarthy era. Despite persistent rumors, Cohn vehemently denied being gay throughout his life. Known for his aggressive and combative style both in and out of the courtroom, Cohn thrived in his later career as a private attorney. He represented an array of high-profile clients, including Donald Trump, Rupert Murdoch, and several mafia figures. His confrontational approach and willingness to bend legal and ethical boundaries made him a powerful yet polarizing figure. In 1984, Cohn was diagnosed with HIV, a fact he worked tirelessly to conceal. Even as his health visibly declined, he insisted that he was battling liver cancer. On August 2, 1986, at the age of 59, Roy Cohn passed away without ever publicly acknowledging his HIV status or his sexuality, leaving a complicated and controversial legacy. Number 9. Andrei Nepela, a name that may not be widely recognized today, but once dominated the world of figure skating. Born in Bratislava, Czechoslovakia, in 1951, Nepela's path to skating stardom began at the age of 7, when his mother introduced him to an ice rink to help manage his asthma. This seemingly small decision set him on a trajectory to become one of the most celebrated figure skaters of his time. Nepela's talent was evident early on, and by the age of 13, he was already competing internationally, representing Czechoslovakia at the 1964 Winter Olympics in Innsbruck, Austria. Though he didn't win a medal at his first Olympics, it was clear that he had immense potential. Over the following years, Nepela refined his skills, becoming known for his elegant style and impeccable footwork, earning him the nickname the Ice Prince. His dedication culminated in a gold medal at the 1972 Winter Olympics in Sapporo, Japan, the crowning achievement of a career that also included 3 World Championships and 5 European Championships. Off the ice, Nepela was reserved and rarely gave interviews, preferring to keep his personal life private. Within the skating community, rumors circulated about his relationships with other male skaters. However, in an era where being openly gay was taboo, particularly in the Soviet bloc, Nepela kept any aspects of his sexuality hidden. After retiring from competitive skating in 1973, Nepela pursued a professional skating and coaching career. He toured with Holiday on Ice and later settled in Germany, where he became a respected coach, mentoring young skaters with his wealth of experience and expertise. Tragically, Nepela's life was cut short. In 1988, at just 38 years old, he began experiencing health problems and was diagnosed with lymph node cancer, which some speculate may have been related to AIDS. On February 2, 1989, Andrei Nepela passed away in Mannheim, Germany, leaving behind a legacy as one of the greatest skaters of his era. Number 10, Brad Davis, a name that once captivated Hollywood with his talent and charisma, though his life off-screen proved to be just as dramatic as the roles he portrayed. Born Robert Creel Davis in 1949 in Tallahassee, Florida, he grew up in a family marked by hardship. including his father's struggle with alcoholism and his parents' eventual divorce. Despite these challenges, Davis discovered his passion for acting. As a teenager, he moved to New York City, where he studied at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts and honed his craft in off-Broadway productions. Davis's breakout role came in 1978 with the film Midnight Express, where he portrayed Billy Hayes, an American student imprisoned in Turkey for drug smuggling. His riveting performance earned him a Golden Globe and catapulted him into the spotlight. He quickly gained recognition for choosing complex and often controversial roles. In Rainer Werner Fassbinder's Carell, he played a sailor exploring his sexuality, a role that solidified his status as a gay icon. However, Davis's personal life remained the subject of speculation. Married to Susan Bluestein for 15 years, the couple had a daughter together. Despite persistent rumors, friends and family consistently maintained that Davis's on-screen portrayals were just performances and not a reflection of his personal life. Behind the scenes, Davis battled significant struggles of his own. He faced a long fight with drug and alcohol addiction, challenges that plagued much of his adult life. In a cruel twist of fate, his substance abuse likely contributed to his contracting HIV. Diagnosed with AIDS in 1985, during a time of widespread fear and stigma surrounding the disease, Davis kept his diagnosis private for 6 years, confiding only in his closest circle. Despite his illness, he continued to work, appearing in television shows and films while undergoing experimental treatments. The emotional toll of keeping his diagnosis secret, coupled with the physical effects of the disease, was immense. On September 8, 1991, at the age of 41, Brad Davis passed away. In a controversial and deeply personal decision, he chose to end his life through assisted suicide, a choice his wife later explained was made to spare his family from witnessing his decline and to avoid the societal stigma surrounding AIDS. After his death, Susan Bluestein Davis published a book titled After Midnight: The Life and Death of Brad Davis, offering an intimate look into their life together and his struggles. The book revealed a portrait of a complex and determined man who fought against addiction and the pressures of Hollywood while striving to maintain dignity in the face of adversity. Number 11, Rock Hudson, born Roy Harold Scherer Jr. in 1925, was the embodiment of the quintessential Hollywood leading man. Towering at an impressive 6 feet 5 inches, with strikingly chiseled features and a magnetic presence, he seemed destined for the silver screen. His journey from a small-town boy in Winnetka, Illinois, to one of Hollywood's most celebrated stars is the stuff of legend. Hudson's career skyrocketed in the 1950s, with films like Magnificent Obsession and All That Heaven Allows, showcasing his versatility in both romantic comedies and intense dramas. His performance in Giant, alongside Elizabeth Taylor and James Dean, earned him an Academy Award nomination, cementing his status as one of the era's greats. However, the pressures of stardom in a time when being openly gay could ruin a career were immense. Hudson took extreme measures to conceal his sexuality. In 1955, he married Phyllis Gates, the secretary of his agent Henry Wilson. It was later revealed that the marriage was a calculated move by Wilson to silence rumors about Hudson's private life. While he maintained the image of heterosexuality for the public, Hudson's sexuality was an open secret within Hollywood. His Beverly Hills mansion became famous for hosting extravagant pool parties, which were legendary within the gay community. Despite living a life of secrecy, Hudson's professional success endured. Through the 1960s and 1970s, he remained a prominent figure, transitioning seamlessly to television with the popular series Macmillan and Wife. Later, his role in Dynasty introduced him to a new generation of fans, but his life took a devastating turn in 1984 when he was diagnosed with AIDS. At first, Hudson kept his diagnosis private, even as his physical appearance began to reflect his declining health. Public speculation peaked when he appeared visibly gaunt at a press event for Dynasty in July 1985. On July 25, 1985, Hudson's publicist confirmed the actor had AIDS, a revelation that sent shockwaves through Hollywood and the nation. As the first major celebrity to disclose an AIDS diagnosis, Hudson became a public face of the disease, challenging the stigma and sparking much-needed conversations. In his final months, his friends, including his Pillow Talk co-star Doris Day, supported him. His appearance on her TV show became his last public engagement. On October 2, 1985, Rock Hudson passed away at the age of 59. His death marked a pivotal moment in the fight against AIDS. Actress Morgan Fairchild summed up his impact. Rock Hudson's death gave AIDS a face. His courage in his final days helped destigmatize the disease and brought attention to critical issues surrounding HIV/AIDS and LGBTQ+ rights. Number 12, Anthony Perkins, renowned for his chilling portrayal of Norman Bates in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, lived a life as layered and enigmatic as the characters he brought to the screen. Born in New York City in 1932, Perkins was the son of stage and film actor Osgood Perkins, a lineage that seemingly destined him for a career in the entertainment world. His journey in Hollywood began with promise, earning an Oscar nomination for his second film, Friendly Persuasion. He quickly garnered a reputation for embodying sensitive and often troubled young men, a persona that resonated with audiences. This image was further enhanced when his song Moonlight Swim broke into the Billboard Top 30 in 1957. However, it was his unforgettable role as Norman Bates in Psycho that defined his career. Perkins's haunting portrayal of the reclusive and mentally unstable motel owner skyrocketed him to fame, but it also resulted in years of typecasting. Beyond the screen, Perkins faced personal struggles, particularly with his sexuality. In an era when being openly gay could destroy a Hollywood career, he navigated his identity with discretion. During the 1950s, Perkins was romantically involved with actor Tab Hunter, though their relationship was kept hidden. Photographs from that time often show the two on orchestrated double dates, sitting in theaters with their girlfriends, an image that starkly reflected the societal pressures they faced. In a bid to conform, Perkins sought therapy to suppress his attraction to men. In 1973, he married photographer Barry Berenson, and the couple had 2 sons. While their marriage appeared fulfilling, those close to Perkins believed he never fully reconciled his identity. Tragedy struck in the late 1980s when Perkins was diagnosed as HIV positive, a discovery cruelly revealed to him through a tabloid article in the National Enquirer. Despite his diagnosis, he kept his condition private, continuing to work until shortly before his passing. On September 12, 1992, Perkins succumbed to AIDS-related pneumonia at the age of 60. Adding a heartbreaking epilogue to his story, Perkins's wife, Barry Berenson, tragically lost her life years later as a passenger on American Airlines Flight 11, which was hijacked and crashed into the World Trade Center on September 11, 2001. Number 13, Pedro Zamora was more than a reality TV star. He was a trailblazer who used his public platform to educate millions about HIV and AIDS. Born in Cuba in 1972, Zamora immigrated to the United States with his family at the age of 8, eventually settling in Miami, Florida. From an early age, he was open about his sexuality, finding support and acceptance within his family and the Cuban American community. His life took a dramatic turn at 17 when he was diagnosed as HIV positive. Instead of letting the diagnosis define him or diminish his resolve, Zamora turned it into a powerful catalyst for change. Determined to make a difference, Zamora began a nationwide campaign to educate others about HIV and AIDS, particularly targeting young people. Traveling across the country, he shared his personal story at schools and community centers, providing essential information about the virus. His charisma and sincerity made him an extraordinary educator, helping to dismantle stigmas and misconceptions surrounding HIV. In 1994, Zamora's life took a historic turn when he joined the cast of MTV's The Real World, San Francisco. As one of the first openly gay men living with HIV to appear in mainstream media, Zamora brought critical conversations about HIV, safe sex, and LGBTQ+ issues into homes across America. One of the season's most poignant moments was Zamora's commitment ceremony with his partner Sean Sasser. This groundbreaking television event provided many viewers with their first exposure to a same-sex relationship ceremony, paving the way for greater visibility and understanding. Tragically, Zamora's health began to deteriorate during the filming of the show. He was diagnosed with progressive multifocal leukoencephalopathy, a rare and aggressive infection that affects individuals with weakened immune systems. Just hours after the final episode of his season aired, Pedro Zamora passed away on November 11th, 1994, at the age of 22. Zamora's legacy extended far beyond the realm of reality television. His courage and advocacy inspired countless individuals, including then-President Bill Clinton, who praised Zamora for humanizing the AIDS epidemic. Clinton reflected, "Pedro taught all of us that AIDS is a disease with a human face," underscoring the profound impact of Zamora's life and work in breaking down barriers and fostering understanding. Number 14. Howard Ashman was a gifted lyricist whose unparalleled creativity played a pivotal role in shaping some of Disney's most cherished songs. His work was instrumental in launching the Disney Renaissance of the late 1980s and early 1990s. Born in Baltimore in 1950, Ashman discovered his passion for musical theater at a young age, often writing and directing plays in the basement of his childhood home. However, his journey to Disney was not straightforward. Ashman first found success on Broadway with Little Shop of Horrors, a collaboration with composer Alan Menken that became a runaway hit. The magic of their partnership would extend far beyond Broadway. In 1986, Ashman and Menken joined forces at Disney to work on The Little Mermaid. Their efforts resulted in a masterpiece with songs like Under the Sea and Part of Your World becoming instant classics. These musical pieces not only enriched the storytelling, but also helped catapult the film to success, marking the beginning of Disney's animation renaissance and earning Ashman his first Academy Award. Following the triumph of The Little Mermaid, Ashman and Menken collaborated again on Beauty and the Beast. It was during the production of this film that Ashman was diagnosed with AIDS. Despite his declining health, he poured himself into the project, creating songs that carried profound emotional weight. For example, the Mob song, with its lyrics, "We don't like what we don't understand, in fact it scares us," served as a poignant metaphor for the stigma and fear surrounding AIDS at the time. Ashman's final project with Disney was Aladdin. Although he did not live to see the film's completion, he left an indelible mark by writing the lyrics for iconic songs such as Arabian Nights and Friend Like Me. Tragically, Ashman passed away on March 14, 1991, at the age of 40. His loss was deeply felt, but his legacy endures. Ashman revolutionized Disney animation by introducing a Broadway sensibility to its musical storytelling. He believed that every song should advance the narrative, a principle evident in his clever and heartfelt lyrics. These songs resonated with audiences of all ages, offering depth for adults while remaining captivating for children. In a heartfelt tribute, the end credits of Beauty and the Beast were dedicated to him, to our friend Howard, who gave a mermaid her voice and a beast his soul. We will be forever grateful. Number 15, Rudolf Nureyev, more than a dancer, a transformative force who revolutionized the world of ballet. Born in 1938 on a trans-Siberian train near Irkutsk, Siberia, Nureyev's path to becoming one of the most celebrated dancers of the 20th century was as extraordinary as his talent. Growing up in Soviet Russia, his early life was defined by poverty and hardship. However, his passion for dance was unmistakable from a young age. At 11, he joined a folk dance group and later gained admission to the prestigious Vaganova Academy of Russian Ballet in Leningrad, now known as St. Petersburg. Nureyev's talent was undeniable, but it was his dramatic defection to the West in 1961 that made headlines worldwide and propelled him to international fame. During a tour with the Kirov Ballet in Paris at the height of the Cold War, Nureyev made the audacious decision to seek asylum, a move that not only changed his life but also carried significant political implications. In the West, Nureyev's career soared. He formed a legendary partnership with prima ballerina Dame Margot Fonteyn, their performances in Romeo and Juliet and Swan Lake becoming iconic. Nureyev, however, was not content to merely perform. He sought to reshape ballet itself, challenging traditional gender roles in dance and advocating for more prominent and meaningful roles for male dancers. His intense athletic style and magnetic stage presence breathed new life into classical ballet, captivating younger audiences and inspiring future generations of dancers. Offstage, Nureyev was as dynamic and complex as he was on stage. Known for his flamboyant lifestyle, he had a passion for antiques and owned homes across several countries. His personal life was the subject of much public curiosity, and he became more open about his relationships with men later in life. In 1983, Nureyev became the director of the Paris Opera Ballet, where he continued to innovate and mentor emerging talent. Despite his declining health in the late 1980s, Nureyev remained relentless in his dedication to dance, choreographing, conducting, and even performing when his strength permitted. On January 6, 1993, Rudolf Nureyev passed away at the age of 54 from AIDS-related complications. His death marked a profound loss to the world of dance, but his revolutionary impact on ballet and his enduring influence on popular culture remain undeniable. Number 16, Steve Rubel was the visionary force behind Studio 54, the iconic New York City nightclub that epitomized the glitz and glamour of the disco era in the late 1970s. Born in Brooklyn in 1943, Rubel's journey to becoming a nightlife legend was far from predictable. After serving a term in the National Guard and graduating from Syracuse University, he initially pursued a career in restaurant management. However, it wasn't until he partnered with his Syracuse classmate, Ian Schrager, that he found his true calling. Together, they transformed a former CBS television studio into what would become the most famous nightclub in the world. Studio 54 opened its doors on April 26, 1977, quickly establishing itself as the heart of New York's nightlife scene. Rubel, known as the public face of the club, curated an air of exclusivity with his famously selective door policy. His mantra, "The key to a good party is filling a room with guests more interesting than you," became the guiding principle of the club's success. Rubel had a remarkable talent for creating a vibrant mix of attendees, from celebrities and artists to everyday New Yorkers. On any given night, you might spot Andy Warhol mingling with Liza Minnelli or Mick Jagger dancing alongside a plumber from Queens. This unique blend of high-profile figures and ordinary individuals, coupled with the club's uninhibited atmosphere, made Studio 54 an unparalleled cultural phenomenon. However, the euphoria couldn't last indefinitely. In December 1978, the IRS raided the club, uncovering evidence of tax evasion. Both Rubel and Schrager were found guilty and sentenced to 3.5 years in prison. Although the club continued to operate under new management, it had lost the magic that once defined it. After serving their sentences, Rubel and Schrager shifted their focus to the hotel industry, where they found success once again. They opened the Morgans Hotel in New York City, a venture that would pioneer the boutique hotel trend. In 1985, Rubel was diagnosed with HIV, a diagnosis he chose to keep private. Despite his declining health, he remained active professionally and socially. Tragically, as the virus progressed to AIDS, Rubel succumbed to complications from hepatitis and septic shock on July 25, 1989, at the age of 45. His legacy endures as a symbol of the dazzling creativity and excess that defined an unforgettable era in New York City's history. Number 17, Keith Haring was far more than an artist. He was a cultural icon whose influence endures to this day. Born in Reading, Pennsylvania in 1958, Haring discovered his passion within the vibrant street art scene of 1980s New York City. His distinctive style, characterized by bold lines, vivid colors, and energetic dancing figures, became emblematic of the pop art movement. He began by creating chalk drawings on blank advertising panels in subway stations, transforming these public spaces into impromptu art galleries. These accessible works brought his art to everyday people and quickly caught the attention of the wider art world. As Haring's fame grew, so did his commitment to activism. He harnessed his art to confront social issues, focusing on gay rights and raising awareness about AIDS. Many of his pieces featured same-sex couples and delivered unflinching critiques of homophobia and discrimination. In 1987, Haring received the life-altering diagnosis that he was HIV positive. Rather than retreat in despair, he immersed himself in his work with renewed purpose. He founded the Keith Haring Foundation to support AIDS organizations and children's programs, ensuring that his influence extended beyond the art world. Though his battle with AIDS was tragically short, Haring's impact remains profound. He passed away in 1990 at the age of 31, leaving behind a body of work that continues to inspire and educate. His vibrant murals and iconic imagery stand as enduring symbols of love, unity, and the relentless fight against HIV and AIDS. Number 18, Paul Shenar was an actor deeply respected by his peers, known for his versatility, unwavering dedication, and captivating presence on screen. Born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in 1936, Shenar enjoyed a career that bridged both stage and screen. He left an indelible mark with standout performances in films like Scarface and television series such as The Wild Wild West. His journey into acting began on stage, where he played a pivotal role as a founding member of the American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco. It was here that he refined his skills and established a commanding reputation as a stage actor. Shenar transitioned effortlessly to film and television, his powerful voice and piercing gaze making him a natural fit for both heroic and villainous characters. Despite his professional achievements being well known, His personal life remained a mystery to most. Speculation about a 5-year relationship with Jeremy Brett, celebrated for his portrayal of Sherlock Holmes, circulated among fans and industry insiders. If true, their relationship would have been kept discreet, a reflection of the pressures faced by gay actors during that era. Tragically, Chenard's life ended prematurely in 1989 when he succumbed to complications related to AIDS at the age of 53. Number 19. Joel Crothers was a beloved figure in daytime television, captivating soap opera audiences for over 2 decades. Born in Cincinnati, Ohio in 1941, Crothers showed an early passion for acting, making his Broadway debut at the tender age of 14. He later found his calling in the world of soap operas, taking on enduring roles in iconic series like The Edge of Night, Dark Shadows, and Somerset. Known for his striking good looks and his ability to portray both heroic and villainous characters with authenticity, he became a staple of the genre. Off-screen, Crothers lived a life of contrasts. While he was open about his sexuality among close friends, family, and colleagues, he adhered to the unspoken rule of the time by never addressing it publicly. Adding an intriguing layer to his personal story, Crothers became engaged to actress Valeka Gray, who coincidentally played his love interest on Somerset. Whether this engagement was a heartfelt connection or a calculated attempt to conform to societal expectations remains a matter of speculation. Tragically, Crothers' life came to an untimely end in 1985 when he died from AIDS-related lymphoma at just 44 years old. Number 20, Steven Stucker was an actor with a rare gift, the ability to make audiences laugh with just his presence. Born in Des Moines, Iowa in 1947, Stucker discovered his passion for comedy early in life. He became widely known for his unforgettable scene-stealing performances in The Airplane, movies where his frenetic energy and quirky line deliveries earned him a devoted fan base. However, his journey to the spotlight wasn't without challenges. He began his career in theater, performing in various productions in San Francisco, where he honed his craft. His big break came when he joined the Kentucky Fried Theater's production of Vegetables, which caught the eye of filmmakers Jerry and David Zucker and Jim Abrahams, eventually leading to his iconic role in Airplane. In 1984, Stucker's life took a dramatic turn when he tested positive for HIV during a time when the disease was poorly understood and heavily stigmatized. Demonstrating remarkable courage, he decided to go public with his diagnosis, becoming one of the first actors to speak openly about living with HIV. By sharing his story, Stucker aimed to raise awareness and humanize a condition that many feared and misunderstood. In interviews, he spoke with striking honesty about his past drug use, which he suspected was the source of his infection. Tragically, his battle with AIDS was brief. Stucker passed away in 1986 at just 38 years old, leaving behind a legacy of laughter and bravery. The lives of these 20 individuals remind us of the extraordinary talent and humanity that shaped their contributions to art, music, fashion, and culture. While their journeys were cut short, their legacies continue to inspire, educate, and ignite meaningful conversations about acceptance and equality. If their stories moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into the lives of iconic figures who have shaped our world. Let's continue to honor their memories by celebrating love, creativity, and the progress they helped inspire.